Welcome.
That's scary.
So, technology, right? Advancing all the time. Okay. And what is super crazy when it doesn't advance, like just a while ago, I'd open up a wine bottle and had to put this cork in there. It took me forever. Why hasn't anyone invented an easier way to open up a wine bottle?
There probably
Devin opened
Devin did have to open it. You are
is. There probably
correct.
is, but I think they're super expensive.
I'm a child still. Anyways, what are you most excited about technology? You know, like 20 years ago might be a little harder for us to say because we would have been 6. You know what I mean? But, you know, there was a point that everyone was excited for 2000 because we were going to be flying in cars. Now, a lot of us are riding bicycles because cars are expensive. But what are you excited for? I'll tell you what I'm excited for. Okay, we have these AirPods now. Everyone has AirPods. They're the new thing. Samsung Buds, whatever you have. Most people are now rocking AirPods or some kind of headphones at all times, pretty much. You see them all the time. Okay, I'm excited for like Google Assistant or Siri or Cortana, whatever you're into, to be so advanced. I can literally just talk to it.
Right.
I could be like, you know, I can just, I don't have to be like consistently Google. I can like literally just have a conversation with it and it kind of fulfill me on everything, right? Be like, hey, what do I have tomorrow? Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Dang, is Walmart busy right now? Oh, Walmart has, wait time is blank. Oh, man, that's crazy. What are the new reviews on the new Madden game? Well, I can just literally have this conversation with it and it's so super intelligent that it can answer me like no one else would be able to.
Instead of just giving you a link like phones do
Yes,
right now.
because right now they're giving links, they're saying standard answers on the website, blah, blah, blah. I want it to be able to fulfill me and like just, I can literally have a straight up conversation about this thing. That's the technology I am most
Like
excited
Jarvis?
for.
Yes.
Yes, exactly like Jarvis. I want it to be like Jarvis. I want to be like, hey, remind me to text Mesa here in a little bit. Hey, what time are we gonna meet up later? Right? And it just be like, okay, I'll remind you. Right, so on and so forth. And just so fluid.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right. So what are you looking forward to?
I hope that one day cars will be able to drive themselves, or we have that option for them to drive themselves. I don't care if they really fly. I don't see a reason why they have to fly. But we've already come to that technology to where they remember we were in Florida and whenever we had speed control, but we get too close to a car, it'll slow down. Okay? And now they have some cars where can't they like move it to the side, or whenever you're swerving, bam, it beeps or moves back to stay in the lane. And we also have cars to where Naomi's car can parallel park itself.
Which is bonkers, by the way.
It is bonkers. And I seen it. It's just like the wheels just pulling by itself. I'm really hoping maybe 20, 30 years that we get close to it. And I mean, I'm not saying that it just fully drives by itself all the time, but like, let's say we're in town, I can drive, it's perfectly fine. But if I want to go like, let's say, the Fort Stockton, I want to go to Big Spring.
Why would you ever want to go to Fort Stockton?
because it's the best,
Rude.
best place ever.
I was giving a shout out.
Shout out to the Fort Stockton people.
If we were going to Dallas or to even another state,
Yeah.
some people, they get sleepy or
Well,
I
have you
almost kill them. So like,
Oh my god, why would you kill
I
someone?
know.
yeah, I always say it, but anyway, but I would have that option of just
Right.
like, okay,
Have you seen those
Autopilot.
videos right now that are going viral of like people sleeping in Teslas?
Teslas,
Yeah.
yes. That is terrifying,
Yeah.
by the way.
It is super crazy because it is terrifying, but it's like, okay, going back to Devin's point, what's the point of a self-driving car then?
Yeah, no,
Like,
I mean, you're right.
You should essentially let these, like, who cares, right? It's
You
a self-driving
should be
car.
able to.
But I get that they're not so regulated at this moment that we all trust it.
Yes.
But it is going to be super awesome because I feel like at that point you could probably jump up the speed limit. We could go, 200 miles per hour now everywhere and not have to worry about so much of accidents because everything's self-controlled once we get to that point where
Yes.
everything's normal, right? So I actually think that's super cool. Like I'm 100% down for that.
I do have one question to ask you before we get to Mesa's and Naomi's. Do you think all cars eventually will just be like Teslas and you can just plug them in?
I think at one point, yeah. I don't know if we'll see it
So
in
electric?
our...
Yeah, sorry, electric car.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see it in our time just because I feel like it's moving kind of slowly. Like, I feel like the first electric car was announced a little while back, and yeah, they're out there, but it's not a lot. So maybe we see it in the next, like, as it being normal. What do you think? Another 70 years?
Would imagine probably 50 to 70.
Where it's, like, purely normal. We can go and just plug something in.
I just don't feel like the technology's there yet. Like, because they're having they only run on, like, battery for so long, a lot of them, that they have to, like, consistently plug in, and, like, it takes forever to charge.
And
so,
the
like,
sites itself to have to plug it in.
But eventually they could replace gas pumps with.
Oh, they're 100%.
Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, eventually at that point
Battery.
Yeah.
you could with the charger, and but you would have to, like you said, like technology would have to go to a point where, like, how long do you want to sit at a gas station or
Plugged
at this
in.
point
No, but
electrical
they would-
station and wait for it to plug in?
But they could have like batteries that are you just like swap out.
I could
They're
see it. I
charged
guess I
up.
could see that. Maybe run them all running on multiple batteries of some sort, or solar energy, or something of that sort. But that would be cool. I would be 100% down for self-driving cars.
That'd be dope.
And it's probably more safe.
Oh, 100% think it's worth it.
Safety.
And I think it's crazy because there's been a lot of lawsuits because a self-driving car just hit somebody, right? And so now everyone's freaking out. But it's like, and I don't know the exact statistics, but it would be interesting to see how many of these self-driving cars have gotten into an accident in a year, and how many non-self-driving cars have gotten into an accident. Like, I'm not even saying when it's normalized, I don't think it'll be 100% too, because things falter all the time.
Yeah.
100%. Things falter all the time, right? So I don't understand why people think just because it's a self-driving car, it's not going to alter, fault. It's going to fault. It's going to mess up. You're right. It's going to hurt. But if we can, minimize, to 1,000 accidents a month to 10 accidents a month, is that not still a win?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you can even talk about like the fact that like people that are like drunk driving and stuff like that, like drinking and driving, like that would eliminate a lot of issues
100%.
like that. So not just the deaths, but like people going to jail and stuff like that. Like that would help too.
Okay, so like I would like them to for us to have like robots, like the actual robot. So the robot while you're like at work, or the robot's like cleaning, the robot's like doing things and like checking to see if you have enough laundry soap or whatever. So ordering things, so everything's already delivered to you. So this robot is pretty basically doing everything at home.
So like iRobot with Will Smith.
Like it's doing everything for you.
Movie doesn't turn out well.
It knows you're out of water.
I do think that's another thing you could put it like on the Google Assistant, like I talked about. Like that would be cool for like the Google Assistant to know when you're almost out of something. Because now, like do you still deliver your groceries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so people still are delivering their groceries. So I feel like the time has be coming where, and they have smart fridges.
Yep.
Now, it tells me when I'm almost out of milk, so it automatically orders it for me. It's on its way. I feel like that would be cool, and like it would be cool to It goes back to assistant, just like in a physical form.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the AI is going to be huge.
Oh, it's gonna be huge.
gonna be
I don't
super
know
huge.
how long it's gonna be. How long do you think it's gonna be till it's
I'd still think I think it's still a good distance away.
What do you
Yeah.
think is quicker, that or self-driving cars?
Oh,
Oh man, that's tough.
I know.
artificial.
I think if we're talking about purely like Google becoming smarter, and maybe not the physical aspect of it, but I think assistants come first.
And they're already pretty close. I mean, that
They're
Google
close,
did the whole like Google called and did an appointment for someone over the phone, like, and that was their AI virtual their assistant. So I would say they're pretty close at this point.
No, they're close because even now the Google lets you have a continued conversation. It's just, again, it goes back to like you said, like you'll ask it a question and it gives you kind of an answer,
Yep.
but then it's like check your phone for
Uh-huh.
further details. I would like it to like purely give me a conversation back and forth, for it to be in the middle of talking and I'd be like, but what do you think? Like, what do you think about this and this and this?
And
for it to like stop
Uh-huh.
talking and answer my question. Yeah, so.
I'm waiting for it to be able to translate Spanish for me.
And I honestly think that could be a thing. Remember Google Buds
Yes,
came
Google
out
Buds.
and said that they would do that. That would be actually, like, to me, that's one of the biggest innovations somebody come out with, to be
Yes.
as fluid. Imagine like you can wear this Pixel or this Bud, whatever it is, and everybody has it, and you can speak whatever language you want and be able to conversate.
Have a complete conversation with someone who normally would not understand you.
Yep. No, that'd be huge.
So you're talking about like a more advanced Google Assistant, more
Exactly.
advanced
Yeah.
Echo.
Uh-huh.
So we're not talking. Are we talking like what Naomi's talking about as in a robot?
Well, Naomi's talking about robot. I think what's going to come first is a more advanced version of Google. So just
Like a
purely
virtual
a
assistant.
virtual assistant. Then eventually maybe they come out with a physical robot, and then eventually maybe they come out with the car thing. But I think we're so close to having a virtual assistant I honestly think we're probably like 10 years away, if not somewhere around there, to having a virtual assistant that is able to understand a lot more than what the one currently is.
I mean, you even got like the Google glasses and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that too, or Google Lens or whatever it's called. That is pretty close too. You're able to navigate through glasses and like look through, your Google searches and stuff through a pair of glasses. So it's pretty close, man. Google's killing it.
Have you seen the and I don't remember if I saw like an article that's worth coming out with, or maybe it was just like, again, like what people are just hoping for, but the mirror, the guys like brushing his teeth or something in the bathroom mirror, and on the side is a hologram of the weather, and it's a Google Assistant. Like that would be cool too. Like and that would be cool because like Google would be everywhere. Everywhere you're going, there's Google. Google's built in your car. I'm waiting for the day Apple or Google or Cortana, somebody comes out with something that's built in a vehicle. Because right now we do have that Google, like that assistant that's in your car. That kind of sucks. It's horrible. But now just imagine like your phone connects and there's your Google Assistant right away. Hey, call Devin. Okay, connect you to Devin.
My dad literally said that yesterday. We were driving out, and he's like, "I wish I could just speak to it and tell it what I want it to do." And I was like your phone? He's like, "Yeah, exactly." So I can get in the car and tell it I need directions here, or I want to be able to call this place before just to make sure it's not closed or whatever.
It's weird why we're not there yet. Why aren't we there yet?
I don't know.
Like how you have Google here? Like you could just say,
"Hey,
in
Google.
a vehicle."
Why
can't I just say, "Hey Google" in my vehicle?
I think it's probably at this point like copyright.
Yep.
Because none of the car companies have teamed up with with an Apple, which would then be kind of hard too, because then it's like, is Ford gonna be a
Apple only or
Apple
Google
only product, and now Chevy's gonna be a Android only product. So now if you have an Apple, you have to buy a Ford, or your phone's not gonna work with you. So that'd be another. It's gonna come up with team ups basically is what they're looking for.
Oh, that's true.
Do you think we're any? Do y'all remember Smart House?
I do remember that old Disney movie.
Yes. Do you think we're anything close to that?
I don't think so, and I think that basically comes down to what we're talking about, because it was basically like an assistant that granted could control, and like Google at this point can control a lot of your stuff, right? They can control your doorbell, your door itself, actually, lights.
Yeah.
So I think as advanced things start coming, you could eventually get to a quote unquote smart house. Google, start my stove. Google, heat up my bathtub. You know what I mean? Like, and there could be things like that that could be coming.
Amazon does microwave now.
I can see it. I did see actually a microwave of some sort.
That's cool. You can now voice activate your microwave, which to me doesn't really make a lot of sense because you got to walk up to the microwave anyway.
And put the food into it.
Yeah. So I don't know how much that works, but a stove would make sense because you got to preheat, stuff like that. Like you said, your bath. But like the microwave, I felt like they
microwave is
didn't really make a lot of sense, but they were like advertising it. Like, yeah, we got voice activated microwaves.
What do you think about VR? Virtual reality.
I was actually thinking that exactly right now. I think it'd be cool eventually. I don't know how good it is right now.
What do you think the main coolness of it is? Like, okay, so do you think it's the video game aspect of VR?
Yes.
Or do you think it's like maybe like a social media aspect of VR that would be cool?
I'm more excited for the video game aspect, just because it'd be so cool to be able to play like legit sports games or like Call of Duty or something with your friend and like actually be in the action almost, like, because why is laser tag cool? Why is
right? Do you think that lasts long term? And I'm basing it basically because of the Wii. I remember we got a Wii and it was so cool at first. And you're like, I don't want to stand up anymore. Yeah, and it's one of those things you're just so. We talked about how just tired you are all the time. You think it's just one of those points that you'd get it and you're like, it's a phase, like you'd go get through it and be like, I don't want to stand up anymore.
Maybe, but I mean, if it has the graphics and stuff to make it like worth it, because obviously the Wii was a little behind in like like graphic wise and stuff like that. I think it would still be cool, and I think it would sell because obviously the Wii was one of the highest selling consoles for a long time.
And Nintendo. Yeah, I don't know. VR is interesting to me because I don't know how like reality it would be, like realistically, I guess is what you're saying, and like how long somebody would actually use it. I get. Like if we go to, like you're adding like a social media type to it, and you combine them both. You can obviously do video games, social media, and you could kind of live your life through VR. I could see it changing things. Like, hey, you want to go to, the Bahamas this week, and you can put on a VR, and you're like at the Bahamas, and it's super realistic that it's different life changing point. But I don't know how, like in just purely a video game, how long that sustains.
So similar to like that Ready Player One movie.
Exactly, like that Ready Player One.
To me, that was like so cool. That movie was so good.
Because people love stuff like that. People love Facebook, and they love Twitter, and they love The Sims, and they love things you can go on. And it's not necessarily a video game to a certain extent, but it's a different life you're almost living, right? So I think that's where VR would excel. VR would excel in that niche that is, people love just pretending or being somebody else. So yeah,
I think it would be like an age group, like certain ages.
So when you mean by social media, you talking about like Facebook?
So like getting together, I can put on a VR.
Less social media, more like actually just being able to actually be with somebody without actually being there with them.
Yeah, maybe social media is not the right word. It's like a social.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Like
a social
I can put on a VR. Mason can put on a VR, and we can go do something together. Yes. Right, that's where I think, as far as like me putting it on and playing Madden or 2K, I do think there's a small niche there. I just don't know how long it lasts, just because of PlayStation Oculus and the Wii, how those kind of just came and went. That's why I don't know if that is gonna last long compared to, hey, you know, it's a social thing. Like I can put on a VR and I can go, you know, you can do like a dating site and you can go to a club and you can meet chicks.
That'd be terrifying. So many catfishes.
Yeah, you can put on a VR. You
sure.
can go to a book club and meet other people who loves books. You know, there's something for everybody. So that's where I think in a social aspect, VR would make more sense.
Yeah, like I want to talk to these people that discuss this, and then you.
Yeah,
go to
it's just
that.
like another form of podcast. Like
Like find your friends that. Yeah.
yeah, like we're in a generation right now that podcasts are everywhere, right? There's
Yeah.
thousands of podcasts you can listen to because that's where we are now. At one point, that could be a thing. You know, like we can go, we can discuss, we can go see, we can pet dogs, we can go see, and you know, to whatever it is you like and love doing, and you can just put on goggles and do it.
I feel like that would be so cool. Just imagining right now, that'd be so cool. Just like people, like especially who are like shy and don't really like to get
That
out
is true.
social. That would be like an advantage for them.
Yeah, like introverts.
Yeah, introverts.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That'd give them an excuse to be able to get out and do something without actually getting
out and doing Yeah,
But no, I mean, to me, I think the sports thing is still kind of cool because I think you would still be able to have a group of people that could get together. Because how many people like play basketball or like play football together? And if let's say you're you live out of town with someone you like to play basketball with, you can still do that. Like
I
with
could
that.
still, yeah, I can 100% still see it being done, but it would have to be a group thing. Like,
Yeah.
do I want to just put on goggles and play quarterback and just play by myself? That's harder. In a group setting, yes. I do think it lasts long. Yeah, you can get together your old friends from, you know, all
Yeah.
across the world and get together. But as far as a solo thing, I don't know how well VR works as a
Yeah.
solo. Like by yourself, you're in a room. Do I want to stand up and do this and this and this and this and this? So as always,
Stay fresh.
stay hungry
Stay driven.
and stay humble.